we are trying to make sense of trying to understand the implications, if any, of the election results that have happened in the two states, both from a political perspective as well as from a investing market perspective. It's BQ Prime and I'm needed. So therefore, we have to talk about investing as well per se. And let's try and get some sense around this. With me on this on this panel today are Shankkar Aiyar, political economy analyst and author; Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist and commentator; as well as Tejas Mehta, political analyst and commentator. Gentlemen, all of you, thank you so much for joining in. I'll start off with the with you, Shankkar. Can I understand from you, how do you read into this verdict for both states? A lot of chatter. Let's start with Gujarat. A lot of chatter about this being a three-way fight after a really long time. Has it indeed turned out to be that, and does it have any implications for the nature of the fight in Gujarat in the elections to come?
I don't think it was ever a three-way fight. I mean, I have difficulty understanding whether there was a two-way fight. This was a fight between BJP and the others, in Gujarat specifically. And it has a history of bulldozing the opposition. I mean, however, the only exception, I think, was 2017 when somebody came close. The Congress came close to challenging the BJP. The point about three-way fight came up only because the Aam Aadmi Party has a larger than life presence in the media, and there was also some amount of wishful thinking on the part of Congress that maybe they'll do something that the Congress couldn't do. But as a friend of mine, the journalist Milind Khandekar, tweeted the other day that for the Aam Aadmi Party, for anything to have worked, they should have had a consistent policy. In marketing terms, you can't go and sit on the ledge of somebody else's brand or branding or market proposition. So Milind tweeted saying that na Ram mile na Rahim, and Aam Aadmi Party tried all the tricks of Hindu light, this, that, and the other. I mean, for me, the Gujarat verdict is actually a validation of the phenomenal electoral machinery run by Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. And they took no chances, left no ground uncovered. I mean, people spoke about Rajkot, Surat, everything. So since you deal with investing, Neeraj, let me put it this way. The people of Gujarat have always been long on Narendra Modi, but in between they have had doubts about the local leadership and went short on the local leadership. They expressed their anger about the mismanagement, and several issues like the Morbi bridge collapse and all. It represented the succession issues in the Gujarat BJP. So they've had a succession of chief ministers who haven't quite lived up to the potential.
Sure.
And there is also the issue of backseat driving in Gujarat. So all of this combined to create quite a lot of anxiety for the party. But as always, they covered their ground. They removed 1/3 of the sitting MLAs. That's the standard formula with Narendra Modi, that you reduce the local incumbencies to reduce the state incumbencies, and that's how it played out. I'm not at all surprised that they broke the record. That is typically of. I mean, if you remember 2014, they went and said 272 plus, and everybody said, "Oh, kaise hoga?" And they achieved it. In Uttar Pradesh, nobody had ever won 70 seats for over 25 years, and they won. So this machinery works in a very different fashion. So Gujarat, not at all a surprise. What surprises me,
I'll come to Himachal. I'll come to Himachal in a bit. I just wanted to first tackle Gujarat, Shankkar. So thanks for that initial update, and I'm glad you spoke the investing language as well. Amitabh, from the BJP's perspective, higher vote share than the 49% the previous time, much higher in terms of seats. So, while the outcome was not a surprise, the manner in which this is seemingly going to be turning out as a result, is that a big morale booster, or kind of known to your mind?
No, I would say it's a big morale booster, because initially nobody expected that BJP would be breaking all sorts of records. Initially, people were also harping on the fact that Narendra Modi and Amit Shah are holding a lot of rallies. the ground reports are not perfect, what's happening. But as Shankarji said, they put their neck on the blades, correct? So they both these leaders do not leave anything to chance. It was a three-way fight, I would say, but the BJP was favorites to win from day one. So BJP smacked off an opportunity here that with the entry of the Aam Aadmi Party, it could break either of the records, either 127, which was the highest of BJP till date, or even 149, which was the highest under Madhav Singh Solanki. See, while Aam Aadmi Party has not won many seats, you could see the impact is huge. With a 2-3% increase in vote share, and these votes are, mind you, I would say largely of the Patidar community, traditional backers of BJP, which had moved towards Congress in the 2017 election. So some of them have come back. Hardik Patel has come back. There is a EWS which has taken care of the reservation. There's no agitation now around the Patidar. But you see the result. Congress is down from 77 to 16. It had won 33 seats last time with 5% vote share margin. So Aam Aadmi Party taking just 5% vote share and largely from Congress, as it has been established, just changes the scene. BJP rises from 100 to 130 odd, just because of a swing of 5% from Congress to BJP. While Aam Aadmi Party targeted BJP in the media because it is the BJP which is in power. It cannot target Congress for non-performance. But on the ground, it was clearly targeting the SC/ST Muslim vote bank and this Patidar vote bank of the Congress. And this is where it has severely damaged the Congress, which has led to this, I would not say surprise, but a phenomenal result for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Of course, the machinery helps.
Yeah, well, it does. Tejas, to your mind, and thanks for joining in. 2017 happened just around the time when there was GST. There were a few other economic factors impacting this time around. The purists were arguing that a lot of it would be digested and therefore BJP will do a good showing. Does this kind of surprise you as well, part one? And does it show that the 2017 performance that came in, as Shankkar was saying, maybe one surprise, was a bit of a freak show of sorts, and the juggernaut continues in the state of Gujarat for the BJP?
Well, Gujarat has been won by the BJP since the past 27 years. And gradually there has been a very slight decline, not at all significant, but, about 1 or 2% it has been going down. Of course, 2017, it went down by a much, bigger margin. But what has happened this time, it's not only reached its, highest, but it's gone at 50, I think it's 53% of the vote. That is 4 times, 4% more votes they have got than the last time. Now, that is phenomenal. I mean, at that level to keep on growing, that is something which, it can't be really explained by the votes being split by, the Aam Aadmi Party, because this is additional votes that the BJP has got on their own. Probably these are young voters, new voters. One has to really sit and analyze who are the voters really, maybe the women, but that is phenomenal by itself. So reaching 150, I think this is something, which most had really expected, given the fact that Aam Aadmi Party was going to really eat into Congress's votes, and that's exactly what has happened. In fact, in Muslim seats, I mean, out of 17 Muslim-dominated seats, BJP is leading or has won in 12. That is Daryapur, Jamalpur, Vadgam, and in all these seats, it's not just the Aam Aadmi Party, but AIMM also, which has actually eaten into the Congress's Muslim vote bank. So that is only to the benefit of the BJP. So the Congress also has helped the BJP, gain immensely. And that's why it's already reached 157, the BJP by itself. So I think this is, a lot of course, votes have been split, but one has to understand why is it that the BJP is still growing. You raised the issue about GST. I think a lot has been streamlined now. So all those, the businessmen and, small MSMEs, which were really upset with, the government, the BJP government, I think they have also now, backed the government in a much more stronger way this time. And of course, Mr. Modi's own image in the party, he went all out this time because he did realize that there was a lot of resentment in the past, in the last 5 years, and he was not seen to be there. It seems that he had taken them for granted. So that personal touch, I think, went much further for the BJP. But what also was missing was the Congress party, and let's not rule them out. I think what the mistake which the Congress party made really was banking on the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Of course, it was targeted towards these two elections. They thought they'll make maximum benefit. They thought the cameras will be on Rahul Gandhi, and that will have an indirect impact on these two elections. And therefore, they'll do silent home-to-home campaigning in these two states. That's what they did. It did not work, and by the time they realized, it was really too late because Rahul Gandhi, the senior most leader, had come just once.
Yeah.
And that is really, they were almost absent. This silent campaigning never ever works in such a big election. They should have had the campaign go right through Gujarat, right through Himachal, been in the battle, and lost if they had to. But they did not want to do that because somehow Rahul Gandhi, if they lost, which they have, they had to be protected. He can't be blamed for the yatra going the state, and if they lost because of him, what impact did it have? Such questions will be raised. So very cleverly, I mean, that's a dichotomy for the Congress. I mean, you do such a big yatra, Bharat Jodo Yatra, not many political leaders and parties have done something like this, but you don't go through the election states. You are a political party and not an NGO. So big lessons for the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party also. They become probably a national party. We'll have to figure that out, but
yeah,
they become a national option for the country. Let's wait and watch. I really don't think so.
Okay, you don't think so. Interesting. Shankkar, let me come to you. You mentioning HP as well. From a BJP's perspective, anti-incumbency in Delhi, MCD, they lost, but I think they maintained the vote share, unless I'm very wrong. Anti-incumbency in HP, some people would argue, and they lost significant vote share too. What does it mean?
So, Neeraj, just before I come to that, I wanted to add one part. So, what we must recognize is that the BJP always benefits from a multipolar contest. They leverage all the fault lines, and it has been seen in Uttar Pradesh. It was seen in other states also. What got done in terms of market language, if I say, they priced in the pain, saying that okay, we'll fix this, we'll fix that. There was door-to-door assuaging by Modi and Amit Shah and others, and they also presented an upside, which is, as Amitabh said, the EWS thing. And remember that two of the large factions of dissidents, which is the Alpesh Thakur group and the Patidar group, had been brought back. I mean, had been neutralized in a sense. And in the tribal districts, they went all out, really went all out, and for the first time they've done, I believe, quite well. So one will have to wait and see for the details. I mean, there will be a thesis tomorrow, day after, I'm sure. There will be a statistical construct that if Aam Aadmi Party votes and Congress votes were all together, then how many seats BJP would have won? I'm sure Amitabh would have got some calls about this also. But this is the kind of analysis that will go through. But if you see at a larger perspective, and I look at Himachal Pradesh, the fact that the BJP could not manage that state robbed it of a good headline. I mean, if it had won in Himachal Pradesh, then we could have said that BJP demonetizes incumbency. Well, that they cannot claim that headline now. 22 or 23 people stood as rebels in Himachal Pradesh, which is phenomenal mismanagement at that level for a party where the party president comes from Himachal. So I think something is going wrong there. At a larger level, I think if you look at it in the economic sense, this reflects the K-shaped recovery of the economy. So you remember, Himachal is largely a rural state. It's hardly urbanized. I think it's less than 20% urban. There has been phenomenal pain in the rural economy, distress over the last 2 years, post-COVID. There is this aspect of the connect, these are all money order economies, Uttarakhand, Himachal and all. My suspicion is that some of that pain has come through in the verdict. of the BJP. For the BJP, and they have lost. I mean, you can always argue that it's a stage, and they had this slogan that Rivaj badlenge, but Rivaj hasn't been changed. I mean, the tradition of this thing continues. And for the Congress, it must be a surprise that they won or they did so well. I can't say one because there's always one. Congress, like the Indian cricket team, can always snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. They'll do something like they've done in Goa and other places in earlier. Although this time the margin seems to be quite a bit for them too. So in terms of economy and economic policy, I think the BJP will have to look at what is hurting that segment of society. There is something going on in the bottom of the pyramid, which you and I know is also reflected in some of the earnings reports of companies, FMCG and two-wheeler guys. So there's something there that they will probably look at, and we might see a reflection of that in the budget. As for the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, I mean, it's a kind of very localized event. The BJP for the last 15 years or so or more, I think after Sahib Singh Verma had not had any leader of any consequence in Delhi. The leaders of consequence in Delhi never wanted to lead Delhi; they wanted to lead India. So that the BJP has always suffered that, and so this reflects. And it's quite something. I mean, if you look at the campaign, they put everybody into the job. I mean, cabinet ministers, Rajnath Singh, Nadda, everybody campaigned for what is really a municipal corporation election. So they covered some ground, but the Aam Aadmi Party has some serious lessons in that because what they expected, the magnitude of the victories hasn't translated. Also, their claim of honesty, integrity, and all this stands challenged as I think the wards in which these MLAs who are under the cloud have been wiped out by the BJP. So there is a lot that they will have to think about. And the final word, the Aam Aadmi Party can grow if it proves that it can govern, and that it will have to show in Punjab. And there it continues to be a major challenge for them on how they will manage Punjab.
Most certainly, and which is, I think, even Tejas mentioned that. Is it a force of reckoning as a national party? Difficult to say. And Shankkar, a very important point about the K-shaped recovery as well. It will be very interesting to see if indeed the recent upticks that we're seeing on the rural side, do they translate in time for 2023 and 24? And if indeed the budgets, which is both 2023 and 24, have some measures to kind of support at that end of the market too. So pretty.
I don't, Neeraj, I don't think they are unaware of that.
No, of course not.
The reason why the free food, free ration scheme has been continued, and I suspect that it will be continued beyond the budget. I mean, given this indicator, maybe they will produce some more welfare schemes. So they have been aware of it, but they obviously can't control events beyond. And the fact that Congress had people like Bhupinder Hooda and the Chhattisgarh CM and all landing up in Himachal has had some. These are very aggressive campaigners, and they are seasoned. They know what's happening. Himachal might be a small state, but it's very difficult to sort of campaign in a state with so many villages in so few. I mean, each constituency is, I think, about 30, 40 villages. So it's damn tough to campaign, and they managed it. So kudos to them.
Yes, indeed. Well, there's only as much money, there's capex to be done, a lot of other things to be done. But yeah, it's interesting to see how some of these welfare schemes continue. Shankkar, point well taken. Just very quickly, a couple of pivots before we wrap up, because otherwise I can go on with this. Amitabh, coming to you very quickly on what do the election results of both Gujarat and HP mean for Congress? Something material, face saving in Himachal Pradesh maybe? Does it count for in any fashion for the big 2024 verdict?
See, it shows that the party can win if they have the conviction and if they fight. I think in Gujarat, the party itself lacked the conviction and the leaders that they could topple the super CM-led government from the center. In Himachal, the BJP also erred in ticket distribution because see, every election is local. And the way Congress fought on local issues there with their star campaigners, and the star campaigners shied away from a contest in Gujarat. So if it gives BJP a fight, focuses on local issues, does not enter into a presidential sort of an election, it still can manage to win or give a decent challenge because there is economic stress. As you are mentioning, as Shankkar ji is mentioning, after the COVID, there is economic stress. People have fallen or gone below the poverty level, and some of these schemes may not be able to uh, 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 mm, uh, just get a landslide for BJP in the coming state elections.
Hmm. They just come in on the same question, and will a lot of this stress is not necessarily due to policies of a particular party, whoever the party may have been, but a lot of it is global in nature as well. So one, what do you think these implications of both of these states for Congress? And just a quick follow up there, Tejas, on AAP as well. You mentioned about how you don't think it's coming in the reckoning as a big pan India player. But this MDC election, the fact that the first attempt, and while a lot was anticipated, hasn't quite lived up to it in Gujarat, so to say, but for a vote share which has come up a little bit, what implications for AAP as well?
Well, for the Congress, first of all, I think in Haryana, in Himachal Pradesh, they could have done much better. I mean, knowing that, I mean, this was a BJP state which was at its worst. You didn't have a proper chief minister, you didn't have a proper state leader, there was so much of rebellion going on. I mean, they should have gone for the kill. I mean, yes, it was much better than Gujarat, at least, certainly. But, they could have possibly done much better. In fact, they've done better than what the polls were, the exit polls were saying. But it still was, I mean, they should have gone for the kill here, and ensured that the BJP is really embarrassed here. That's how you do politics. I mean, here this is almost that they won, by the mistakes of the BJP and not to their own credit. So that, I think, is the big change that one would like to see in the Congress, which of course was not there in Gujarat at all. And when it comes to 2024, I really don't know if this is really going to benefit the Congress. Yes, they can always say we have one more state, and this is of course another state they have, which is going to be run by them after a long time. So that is something important for them, which they only have two, and Rajasthan might go. So that will only leave them with Chhattisgarh and Himachal Pradesh. So on the run-up to the 24 elections, a good thing for them, at least something better than nothing. As far as the AAP is concerned, I think they still. I think the problem with it's always, as Shankkar sir said, it is the BJP versus everybody else, and until you have one opposition unity, I don't see in any chance, at least 2024, them cobbling up some sort of alliance and winning it. I mean, this may happen, post the elections, where if the BJP is running short, then we may see some jugaad happening then. But on the run up to the 24 elections, I just see no contestants or no parties or no alliances which can really take on the BJP at this point of time. As far as, and AAP cannot really lead it because there are too many others who would say, look at us. I mean, there is Mamata Banerjee who says, I have a much bigger state. You just have Delhi. Punjab is not a very big state. Yeah, so, and I also have contested in in Goa like you. So I mean, and of course the Congress party is always extremely always snubbing the Aam Aadmi party, saying that I mean, we are the only contenders for the national opposition. So
Sure.
it's extremely, in this scenario where everything is so fractured, to and that's what the BJP's advantage, and it's extremely difficult for the opposition to really come together and even give a tough fight to the BJP, which one would really expect.
Yeah, kind of showing in Gujarat, but you have to whatever be the means, I think the HP result, there's some face saving for Congress for sure, you have to admit. 2024 is a different case in point altogether. Shankkar, final word really from an economic perspective. Investors love continuity. Did any of these two states, to your mind, signal anything for 2024 or no? And if they did, has the Gujarat showing kind of given a bit of a booster shot to the incumbent party?
Well, that they didn't lose or didn't do badly in Gujarat will be sort of taken as a plus by investors. But we still have quite a distance to go. And so, in terms of economic policy and investment, I think the markers would be how they respond to what happened in Himachal politically. There will be a response. Whether Mr. Nadda continues or Mr. Nadda sort of is penalized, he might offer to resign, whatever the drama that follows. But the aspect that the milestone that people will watch out for is what happens in budget 2023, because that's the last final budget before the election, and how they manage Karnataka. I think that's one state which is up for the grabs. I mean, unless the Congress decides to defeat itself, it has a good shot at it. For the Aam Aadmi Party, one thing, I mean, whether the other opposition parties, I mean, we have something like 15 states with chief ministers of regional parties. And for all of BJP's great strength, from Trivandrum to Kolkata, you can drive through without encountering a BJP state. So there is still that challenge of the regional parties. The regional party has to come up to that level, come up to the level of, and those of us who lived in Mumbai know that Bal Thackeray started his party's empire in 1966, formed agitations in 69, and by the time his first time they came to power in alliance with BJP was 1995. So it takes a long time for a regional party to come together unless they have the critical mix, the mass and the policy ideas. The problem with the Aam Aadmi Party is it's convinced of its own genius, and so have they come up with all these, headline grabbing ideas. And I don't know whether they have any grand plan for Punjab. So that is where they will be tested. But for 2024, I think we'll have to see how the market plays out, given the global factors that we see recession in three of the largest economic blocs, Europe, US, and China is contracting. So those are things that will impact India. And prosperity is always a factor in elections. And that will play out in 2024.
Jaman, thank you so much for your patience and for your time today and your, of course, opinion. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Right. And viewers, thanks for tuning into this conversation.
अमिताभ कुछ लिखो उस पर वो